After months of silence, the Ivy League, the NCAA, they have finally decided to address the Lia Thomas situation. For those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, Lia Thomas is the swimmer at Penn who is breaking any and all records. She's also breaking hearts and dreams. Her teammates, her competition, they entered into this world with two X chromosomes. Lia Thomas entered the world with a Y chromosome. For those who are unfamiliar with science, what I'm telling you is she was born a dude. The name given to her by her parents was Will Thomas. Warren, and there's something about Mary, he would say Lia Thomas was born with Franken beans. At some point, Will Thomas decided to start identifying himself as Lia Thomas. I'm still unsure if there was a medical transition. That's why I say identify. I know that Lia Thomas is taking testosterone suppressants, but I can't find any verifiable information that confirms that Will Thomas has fully transitioned into a woman. But that doesn't matter to the Ivy Leagues. That doesn't matter to Penn. That doesn't matter to the NCAA. After months of silence, they have finally decided to come out of their ivory towers and release a statement to us little people. Some of you unfamiliar with this story, you might be thinking, they obviously said Will Thomas must compete against men. There is no way they are allowing her to continue to compete in women's swimming. Come on, guys, you can't think logically. You must think about her feelings. You must be inclusive to 0.6% of the population. I don't have a problem or an issue with the LGBT community. The LGBT community, they make up 5.6% of the US population. The transgender portion, like I said, makes up 0.6% of the population. I am not making that up. There are around 2.1 million people who identify as transgender. Now, that doesn't mean they're fully transitioned, they just identify, which always confuses me. Just because you identify as something doesn't mean that's what you are. If I identified as LeBron James, does that make me captain of the SJW club? No, it makes me delusional. Now, if you're fully transitioned, that's a different story. You don't have to identify as a woman. You are a woman. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it. You do you. One of the people who has supported me on the channel almost from the beginning is a transgender woman. She is disgusted with the Lia Thomas situation, as well as the LGBT community continuing to be used to promote an agenda. I believe most people in the LGBT community feel the same way she does. My problem with Lia Thomas and the agenda itself is the expectation that 99.4% of the population must accommodate the 0.6%. When guys like Martin Luther King were fighting for civil rights in the 1960s, they were fighting for equal treatment. Martin Luther King, he didn't choose to be born a black man. He didn't wake up one morning and identify himself as African American. It's just who he was. Lia Thomas can say that she was born the wrong gender all she wants. It doesn't erase the fact that she was born a man. Depending on what you believe, either God, Allah, or Mother Nature made the gender decision for her at birth. Will Thomas chose to become a woman. It was a choice. With that being the case, why should the young women at Penn, why should the young women in the Ivy Leagues be forced to accommodate Lia Thomas? If someone identifies themselves as a bank robber, are banks forced to accommodate them? No, they're not allowed in the damn bank. According to the NCAA and the Ivy Leagues, women should be willing to accommodate Lia Thomas. The Ivy League reaffirms its unwavering commitment to providing an inclusive environment for all student athletes while condemning transphobia and discrimination. What a load of bullshit. What a load of bullshit. How are the Ivy Leagues and the NCAA being inclusive to all the biological women who busted their ass to make the swim team, only to see their accomplishments mean nothing because they're being forced to compete against a biological male? Someone please tell me how that is inclusion. I used to say on here that equality is a myth. Well, inclusion is also a myth. If I walked into the women's restroom at Walmart, would I be included? If a homeless man walked into a country club, would he be included? Are white people included at HBCUs? Last year, a young white girl got accepted to Spelman College, and it sparked outrage on social media. I didn't see anyone being inclusive with her. Penn doubled down on the statements from the NCAA and the Ivy League. We fully support all student athletes. Oh, really? Really? How are you supporting 99% of the women's swim team? These young women are so scared, they're having to speak out anonymously. Parents have written letters pleading with Penn to do something about Lia Thomas. Clearly, those requests have fallen on deaf ears. But yeah, Penn supports all student athletes. No, Penn is supporting one student athlete at the expense of everyone else. But KC, they are abiding by NCAA protocols. So, the NCAA protocols are garbage. If Lia Thomas were using PEDs, the NCAA would suspend her, possibly even ban her from competing. How is this any different? She has a nominal advantage over female swimmers. Isn't that why PEDs are banned? Because they give competitors an edge, an advantage? Athletics are supposed to be about an even playing field. Everyone has the same opportunity to win. These women at Penn, these women in the Ivy Leagues, they have zero chance competing against Lia Thomas. Of course, the mainstream media, they remain strangely silent on this story. This is the same media that jumps all over any story that fits the narrative. Lia Thomas doesn't just fit the narrative, she is the narrative. She checks every box on the woke boner list. So why is the mainstream media choosing to remain silent? Because Lia Thomas represents a real problem. What have we heard the media claim for years now? Biological men who become women have no competitive advantage over biological women. Lia Thomas proves them wrong. She went from finishing second team All Ivy League as a male swimmer to crushing records in female swimming. It's not even close. In a competition, I believe it was last month, she beat her opponents by 25 to 30 seconds. You see, the media, they want men competing in women's sports, but they don't want them dominating. Why? Why do you think that is? Because it would spark too much outrage, which is exactly what Lia Thomas is doing. She's pissing people off. She's causing controversy. They don't want that. They want them quietly competing, slipping under the radar. Like I told you guys before, they can't make the argument about men competing against women on merit alone. They know people wouldn't go for it. So they slip them in one by one, hoping too many people won't notice until one day you wake up and sports have been completely ruined. I hope these young women that are being affected by this sue the hell out of the NCAA. The NCAA should be abolished. This is the most useless institution in America. What exactly does the NCAA do? They're like the government. They just screw everything up. We saw how little power the NCAA had last year during the COVID. There is absolutely no organization. Every conference was governing themselves. The SEC completed most of their season. Pac-12 spent football season hiding from the COVID. And I'm tired of this Lia Thomas situation being called transphobia. SB Nation posted an article last month calling out the LGBT community for not coming to the defense of Lia Thomas. Here's the problem. Here's why they're not. You can't defend the indefensible. Although Lia Thomas on paper fits the narrative, she actually destroys the narrative. There is nothing anyone can say that will convince people that this isn't bullshit, and they know it. So the media, the LGBT, the SJWs, they remain silent, hoping Lia Thomas will just go away. Let me know what you guys think of the NCAA, Penn, the Ivy League, breaking their silence and coming out in support of Lia Thomas. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.